unit already started by Mr. M. Kamalakanan sir, Assistant Professor OG, Department of Tripoli, SRM Valliyam Engineering College again. And he is going to continue the Unit 5 design of controllers for the drives. Sir is going to cover again. Sir, I welcome you, sir.
Kamal, sir. Yes, sir. I will continue the morning session, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, okay. Fine.
Okay, sir. Very good afternoon. Hope my screen is visible to everyone. Sir, my screen is visible, sir. Hello? Hello? My screen is visible, sir. Is my screen visible? Okay. Hope my screen is visible to everyone. So during the morning session, we have seen about the fifth unit in solid state drives design of controllers. So before getting into the design of controllers, we have seen that to control that drive, what are all the fundamental equations and what are all the fundamental methods that is actually available to control the drive, we have seen especially. So there are two ways by which the speed of the drive is getting controlled. One is nothing but the armature voltage control. The second one is nothing but the field control. So for that, what are all these several loops that is involved in it, and we have seen about the innermost current loop and the outer speed loop and the outermost position loop. So in that, the current loop is playing the vital role. After then only the speed loop, after then only the position loop we have seen. So in that too, we neglected the position loop. We concentrated only on the current loop and speed control loop. So we saw about the transfer function of the motor. We also seen about how to derive the transfer function for the current loop and how to derive the transfer function for the speed loop and how to obtain the actual speed what that is needed by the user to the application which is actually specified. That is what we have covered during the morning session. And now what we are going to do is we have seen that for the current controller part, which is nothing but the innermost loop, we have these things, the DC motor with the load and the converter and the controller. So the transfer function is nothing but this is what the transfer function. So the transfer function comprises of the gain of the system and the time constant of the system. So this is a converter transfer function. We have seen what is the value of KR and what is the value of TR, under what range it should be. That is, we have seen, and how the firing angle is getting altered by which the magnitude of the voltage that is getting into the armature of the motor is getting controlled, so that the overall speed of the desired mission is getting controlled. So we saw the relationship for alpha, right? So alpha is equal to some constant multiplied with Vc divided by V, VCM. That is what we have seen during the forenoon session. So what is the gain for the current controller? Okay, so this is the current controller. So the gain for the current controller is represented with Kc multiplied with 1 plus S into Tc divided by S into Tc, since it's a closed loop transfer function. The open loop gain function may be written as 1 plus S into Tc multiplied with 1 plus S into Tm divided by S into 1 plus S into T1 multiplied with 1 plus S into T2 plus multiplied with 1 plus S into Tr. So looking to this open loop gain function, in the denominator, we will come to know that it is a fourth order system. Since we are having s to the power 4, it is a fourth order system with four poles. So it is quite complex to solve such a equation without any software. If you want to do it manually, then what we have to do is we have to go for certain approximations and simplifications in order to make this fourth order system at least to a second order system. By then only we will able to do the manual calculations. So what we are doing is we are doing certain approximations and simplifications to make this fourth order system to a second order system. So that is what we are doing over here. So what simplification we are doing at first is we previously discussed that the motor time constant Tm should be lesser than 1 millisecond. That is what we have discussed during the morning session. So the Tm value is very, very small. It's in order of 1 second, not even a 1 second. It is in terms of millisecond. That's why it is very small in nature. The Tm itself is very, very small so that the 1 can be neglected. That's why the 1 plus S into Tm is approximately equal to S into Tm alone. So this 1 can be neglected. So the open loop gain function becomes this 1 plus S into Tm becomes S into Tm. So this S, so both S are getting cancelled in the numerator and the denominator. And what happens to the system is the fourth order system is reducing into a third order system. Since there is 1 0 that is located at the numerator is getting vanished. So, and the 4 pole system is getting reduced to the 3 pole system, and the order of the system is also becomes 3. So now we are again going to reduce this third order system to a second order system. For that, we are again doing the simplification with the known parameters within our boundary limits. We came to know that the denominator exists the relationships T1, T2, and TR. The TR value is very, very lesser than the T2, and the T2 value is very, very lesser than T1. So what happens is in the simplification part, the TC value is equal to the controller time constant T2. Okay. So in the numerator, what we are actually doing is instead of TC, we are actually replacing TC with the T2. So 1 plus S into TC becomes 1 plus S into T2. So in the denominator also we are having 1 plus S into T2. So both 1 plus S into T2 is getting cancelled. And we absolutely made the fourth order system to a second order system. So the open loop transfer function of this current controller becomes K divided by 1 plus S into T1 plus 1 plus S into TR. That is what we are getting. Where K becomes K1, Kc, KR, HC, TM divided by TC. This is nothing but the controller, and this is nothing but the converter, and this is nothing but the motor time constant and everything. This KR represents the gains of the system, and T represents the time constants of the controller of the converter. Okay, so R represents for the converter and C represents for the controller. So this is how we are simplifying the fourth order system into a second order system for the manual calculation. That is what represented over here also. If designing without computers, then simplification is much needed for doing the manual calculation. So with this second order system, after getting this open loop function, what we are going to do is we are going to find out the gain of this current controller and the time constants. So we have successfully developed this into a second order system. The characteristic equation of the second order system we are well known. It is S square plus 2 times of eta into omega ns plus omega n square. So with this simplification, we have our omega n square is equal to k plus 1 divided by t1 into tr. And the damping ratio eta is equal to t1 plus tr divided by t1 into tr divided by 2 times of k plus 1 divided by t1 into tr. For the good dynamic performance, we are making this damping ratio eta is equal to 0.707. So it is the assumption we are doing for the good dynamic performance. If the eta value is going to be 0.707, then the performance is going to be good. So after relating this, what we are doing is we are putting 0.707 for this eta, and with this equation we are equating it. After doing the simplification, we are able to find out the value of T1 as well as the TR. So after substituting eta is equal to 0.707 and equating on the both sides, we are able to compute what is the value of k and what is the value of t1 and what is the value of t2. So at last, after doing the simplification, we are getting the value of k is equal to t1 divided by 2 times of tr. So this is what the value of k after for the current controller. If we want to design, the k value is literally is equal to t1 divided by 2 times of tr. So this is what the final equation we can tell. So what is k? We previously seen that the k value is numerically equal to k1, kc, kr, hc, tm divided by tc. That is equal to t1 divided by 2 times of tr. So the controller gain kc is equal to t1 multiplied with tc divided by 2 times of tr, 1 divided by k1, kr, hc into tm. So this is what the controller gain. While we are designing, we are dependent on this all time constants and gains of the converters and the other controller. So we have to look into those parameters for getting the gain of the current controller. After then, what we are going to do is, after we have designed the innermost current controller part, we are going to design the outer speed control loop. So in order to design the overall outer speed control loop, again what we are doing is we are approximating the second order model of the existing current loop. Already it is a fourth order. We approximated that into the second order by undergoing the value of time is going to be very, very less, so that the 1 plus s plus tm becomes s plus tm. After then, with the time constants, we are making that into t2. We are approximating that into the second order system. For developing the speed loop, the outermost loop, again what we are doing is we are again approximating the second order system to a first order system. So we are approximating this overall second order current loop system into a 1 plus s into t1, 1 plus s into t2, which is nothing but a second order system. So system is going to be assumed as a first order system. We are approximating it. How we are approximating it is the t1 plus tr is equal to t3. So that we are approximating it to a first order, which is nothing but ki, since it is a current controller loop. So ki divided by 1 plus s into ti. So the final equations, we maybe easily remember that it's a gain divided by the time constant. So ki divided by 1 plus, since it's a closed loop system, it's 1 plus s into ti. Okay, we want the entire derivation that is actually given in the forthcoming slide. So after getting all this, so this is what the derivation, how we got that approximation to a first order system. The detailed explanation is given over here. So the first order approximation becomes, the current loop becomes, because we are taking the entire motor with the speed control. The outer loop is actually taken over here, and the inner loop current is approximated to ki divided by 1 plus s into ti. So that is actually getting multiplied with the speed controller block and the motor and the load block. And this is the feedback of the motor actual speed by the sensor. So this is the transfer function of the tacho generator. So everything is getting over here, and now we are trying to estimate what is the gain of the speed control block. For designing such a speed controller block, what is going to be the gain ks of that block? We are trying to compute it. So the PI type speed controller will have the transfer function g of s is equal to ks into 1 plus s into ts divided by s into ts. So now after this first order thing, and we are assuming it to a unity feedback system. So here we have mentioned it. Assume there is a unity feedback system. So for that unity feedback system, now what is happening is the loop gain becomes, because the numerator is the gain, that becomes the third order system. Because the here one, and here one, it is becoming the third order system. Because we are combining all the loops, right? Previously, we are only depending on to the current loop. There we are reducing everything from the fourth order to a second order. Now we are entirely combining the speed control loop with the current loop and the motor come load. Then the equation is becoming the third order, and this third order, again we like how for the current controller we are approximating that into the second order. Like that here also we are making a third order system to a second order system. for our EC manipulation. So here, what is the relationship? What is the approximation we are getting is the value of Ti, which is nothing but the approximated first order system of the current controller, is very, very lesser than that of the time constant of the motor. So the speed controller time constant is equal to the motor time constant. That is how we are approximating it. So that the open loop gain function of the speed controller becomes, so this is what the equation we have known, 1 plus S into Ts. So what we are doing is, this Ts is becoming Tm now. So this 1 plus Tm in the numerator and this 1 plus S into Tm in the denominator is getting cancelled. And seeing to the denominator, now the third order equation, the third order system becomes a second order equation. So with the second order equation, as usual, we know the characteristic equation, right? So with the help of that damping ratio and omega n square, we can able to compute the exact Ks value, which is nothing but the gain of the speed controller system. So here we are getting the second order system. So from the this open loop function, and in the closed loop transfer function, which is of the second order equation, S square plus 2 into damping ratio omega n multiplied with S plus omega n square. So with that, we are calculating the exact gain of the speed controller block, which is nothing but the Ks. There we have approximated, we for the good dynamic performance, we got the omega value is equal to 0.707. So whatever may be the value they are going to given, we are in the position to compute the value of the damping ratio also. And with that, after substituting everything, we will be calculating the gain of the speed control block, which is nothing but the output block. So with this, we started our DC motor and the methodologies by which the DC motor is getting controlled. And for that, motor has to be controlled automatically with the help of solid state drives and the power semiconducting switches, which is nothing but for that the control system is involved in it. So that controller blocks comprises of several parameters. Such parameters are interlinked with the transfer function of the system. In such transfer functions, the gain is what the important parameter, and the time constants are the important parameters. So we have seen that how that gain as well as the how that time constants are being manipulated, and what are all the approximations, and what are all the mathematical rule, and what are all the mathematical things we are going to adopt. That is what we have seen so far, and we successfully computed. We have successfully designed the innermost current loop and the outermost speed loop, and estimated their gain and estimated their time constants, and what is the mathematical relation that is involved in it. That is what we have seen so far. And now, during starting itself, we have discussed not only the armature based control is there for making the speed of the DC drive is going to be controlled. We have another one method also, which is nothing but a field weakening method. Since the speed of the motor is directly proportional to the armature voltage and it is inversely proportional to the field, that's why if you weaken the field of the motor, then what will be happening is the speed of the motor is getting increased. That's why now we are going to we are making the armature voltage at a constant, and we are doing the weakening of the field to achieve the speed control in the DC drive, what we are going to use. For the above base speed operations, we are going on for the field control method. So the field weakening can be done with the help of the same converter. The magnitude of the field that is getting into the field winding is varied with the help of the controlled rectifier, because the uncontrolled rectifier will not serve the purpose. So it should be the controlled rectifier for which the power semiconducting devices should be a SCR. So if the magnitude of the field is going to be very high, then we will be going for a three-phase controlled rectifier. If the magnitude of the field circuit is going to be very low, then we can go for a single-phase controlled rectifier block. So the field current should not be contain any ripple in it. There may be a time lag when compared to the field circuit time lag. The converter time lag may be high. So here, what are all the loops? So we have clearly seen for the armature voltage control, we have three loops. One is the innermost current loop, the outer speed loop, the outermost position loop. The position loop we have neglected, and we concentrated only on the innermost current loop and the outer speed loop. That is going for the field control. We have two. One is nothing but the field current control. Here also we are having the innermost current control, and we have the outer control called induced EMF current control. Here we are not having any speed oriented control or position oriented control because the field serves a stator part in the DC machine, so that we won't experience any speed at the stator part, and we don't experience any such position of the rotor. Since it is a stator, we are actually going with the field current control, the innermost loop, and the outer loop is nothing but the induced EMF control. So this diagram clearly depicts the field weakening mode of controller design. So this we have seen prior, the armature will have a converter part, and there is a voltage, and this is said to be the current controller, and we have the speed controller. If you want the position controller, then there again going to be a position controller. From the position controller only, from the theta reference and the actual theta value, the omega r dash is getting generated, and such omega r value is going to be compared with the actual speed. Because why we are not taking position control is the user will not give the exact position of the rotor to be. Why? Because for whatever may be the application, the user is actually concentrated on the exact speed value of the machine. That's why we are neglecting the position control loop. We are only concentrating on the speed control loop. Why? Because the user will be giving the value of the reference speed for which the motor has to run. That's why we are concentrating on the speed control loop only. So this we have known, and we have designed everything, and we have seen for the speed controller transfer function, we have seen for the current controller transfer function, and the motor consists of the inner part of everything. So this we have seen earlier. Now we are concentrating on the stator part, which is nothing but the field part. Here the field is also fed with the converter that we have seen, right? Either with the help of a single phase converter or with the three-phase control converter, the field is getting fed. So in this converter also there is a power semiconducting switch. Since it's a controlled rectifier, the firing angle plays a vital role. With that firing angle, the magnitude of the field voltage, with that the magnitude of the field current is getting altered. If you delay the firing angle of the converter, then the magnitude of the field voltage will be very low, and the current of the field circuit is going to be very low. So what is the magnitude of the current that is getting into it? If you lower the field current, the speed of the machine is going to be very high. If you higher the field current by advancing the firing angle, which is nothing but we are giving the firing angle at the starting itself, then the magnitude of the voltage by doing the Fourier analysis and by doing the all the integration to the sinusoidal waveform, what we are going to get from the converter, or else the DC magnitude waveform, what we are going to get from the converter is going to be very high, so that the speed of the machine is getting lowered by doing the field weakening mode. So the alpha value plays a vital role. How much alpha has to be there? So for this, we have two methods. One is nothing but the EMF control method and the inner field control method. So in the next slide, it is very clearly given. So this is how the field weakening control is going to take place. Likewise, in the armature control, in the rotor part, in the stator part also, we have the innermost field current, the reference that is being generated with the help of the induced EMF controller. So this is the reference current, and this is the actual current. With the help of the current sensor, we will be estimating the IF. So this IF dash and IF is getting compared with the help of this comparator, and that comparator is producing the error signal. So based on that field current controller error signal, the value of alpha, either it has to advance or it has to delay, is getting judged with that alpha value, the voltage produced, and ultimately the current that is getting into the field and the flux production is getting altered, so that our motto is to control the speed of this. So for controlling the speed of such a drive, everything is involved with this controller's design. So this is the field controller block, and this is the EMF control block. For this EMF, there should be the reference EMF, right? So we are giving the reference EMF. The actual EMF, we have known the mathematical equation for the back EMF that is getting produced in the machine is nothing but the applied voltage V is equal to, we have known, right? So in terms of EMF, it is equal to V minus RA into IA plus LA into DIA divided by dt. So this is for the EMF that is getting induced in the motor, that is given in the mathematical equation itself. So such EMF is getting compared with the reference EMF, and the error signal is getting produced, that in turn produce the reference field current. So such reference field current is compared with the actual field current that is there. So with that, the overall firing angle is getting altered. So the required field current makes the required speed for which the application has to run. So this is how the field weakening control is being takes place, and same sort of transfer functions are going to be applied for this field current controller as well as this induced EMF controller. And here also we will be estimating the gain of such controller blocks, and we will be estimating the time constants of such controller blocks. So that is what the in-depth meaning, that is what the background knowledge, background idea of designing the controllers for getting the speed of the motor or the drive to be controlled. So like we have seen for the armature voltage control, here also they have given that the EMF is given with the relation V minus RA into IA plus L into DIA divided by dt. The reference induced EMF E star is compared to E to obtain the induced EMF error signal, so that this induced EMF error signal will be producing the field current reference IF dash. So this IF dash is limited by the limiter while it is comparing to the IF. After then it is producing the alpha. So that VCF is actually modifying the alpha. That alpha is going to produce the required field voltage. From that field voltage, the field current is getting altered so that the overall speed of the machine is getting controlled as per the user set speed. So now that is how the field weakening is also achieved. If you want to make your motor to work in a 4-quadrant operation, because in solid state drive subject, the first unit is nothing but the drive characteristic. There you people would have introduced about the 4-quadrant operation of the motor. Whatever may be the machine we are going to take, especially nowadays the e-vehicles came into existence. There we won't only do for forward motoring operation. We also need the reverse motoring operation, and we also need the forward braking operation, and we also need the reverse braking operation. So the forward motoring in the first quadrant, and forward braking in the second quadrant, and for reverse motoring in the third quadrant, and reverse braking in the fourth quadrant. All such things has to be achieved in the motor what we are going to be used as a drive. So for the 4-quadrant operation, what we people have to do is we have to go for a 2-converter operation. In pre-R, we have seen only 1 converter that is used to achieve the speed control in the armature. Here also what we are doing is we are going for the armature voltage control rather than going for a field oriented control. That's why in the diagram it is clearly given the value of the field current that is made constant. So there is no field weakening method of speed control that is going to be done over here. We are only going to do armature voltage type of the control. That's why we have the outermost speed control block and the innermost current controller block, and everything is remaining same. Whereas the only difference is for a 4-quadrant operation, instead of using 1 converter, we have to use 2 converter. Why we are using this 2 converter is for the forward operation there will be 1 controller, and for the reverse operation there will be another converter is going to take place. If the converter is going to be operated from the firing angle 0 to 90, then we will be experiencing the motoring operation. If we operate the converter from 90 to 180 degree mode, then what will be happening is we will be experiencing the reverse operation. Okay, which block will select either converter 1 has to work or converter 2 has to work? That is well taken care of with the help of this selector block. This selector block will select either current converter 1 has to be selected, or this converter 2 has to be worked at that particular instant to achieve either the rotation in a forward mode or in a backward mode. So that is what the explanation given in this slide. So for the 4-quadrant operation, it's quite very similar to that of the 2-quadrant operation, whereas the only difference is we have 2 converters. The converter 1 is especially for the forward direction, whereas the converter 2 is for the reverse direction. So how the changeover is being takes place, as I told earlier, there is a selector block in it. This selector block will take care of which converter has to be used at that particular instant. So this is actually done with the help of the zero crossing signal with the help of ZCD, zero crossing detectors in the cosine waveform that is being generated. With that, how whether the motoring operation has to be takes place or reverse operation has to be takes place will be well taken care of. Okay, and we should also be very clear that there should be only 1 converter should be on at a time. At the instant, there should not be 2 converters should be on. Why? Because there will be a problem of short circuit and the current will be flowing inside of the converter itself. Then we may experience a short circuit in it. So we should be very clear that only 1 converter should be on at a time. So that is the precaution we should know. So for the field weakening mode, we have known that there is a EMF loop and a current loop. So for the EMF loop, we are actually decoupling it with the several stages, and well prior we derive the value of firing angle alpha is equal to cos inverse of VC divided by VCM. So VC is the control voltage and VCM is nothing but the maximum controller voltage. So the current control for the armature after the first order approximation, there we have seen, right, there is a detailed derivation for this approximation that is given over here. So that's all about the design of controllers for drives, especially DC drives. In the same way, we can establish the design for the induction motor also, because induction motor is also applied for several applications. So for the induction motor also, the same sort of knowledge is going to be applied for the design of the controllers. So here we took a separately excited DC machine. Why? Because when comparing to the permanent magnet DC motor or to the self-excited DC motor, the controller design is going to be very easy for a separately excited DC motor. That's why we took a separately excited DC motor as a case, and we have seen that how the controllers loops are going to be designed for armature voltage control as well as the field weakening control. And we have seen how the gain as well as the time constant and what are the relationship that exist in between, and how physically and in application how the desired speed is going to be achieved by designing these controllers. So that is what we have seen so far. And here with the help of the equation what we have derived, we are going to see one problem, so that we will have a better clarity on the thing what we have discussed so far. So the problem given over here is we are in a position to design a speed controlled DC motor drive, maintaining the field flux to be a constant one. Always we will go for armature voltage control rather than the field flux oriented control, so that the field flux is maintained constant over here. The motor parameters and ratings are, it's a 220 volt motor with 8.3 ampere. It's a 1470 RPM. The armature resistance is 4 ohms. The moment of inertia J is 0.0607 kg meter square, and the value of the inductive armature inductance is LA is equal to 0.072 Henry, and the friction coefficient B value is equal to 0.0867 Newton meter per radian per second, and the back EMF constant KB is equal to 1.26 volts per radian per second. So these are all the data they have given very clearly, and they also given as the converter specification also. The converter is supplied from a 230 volt 3-phase AC 60 Hz supply. The converter is actually linear, and its maximum control input voltage is plus or minus 10 volts. Okay, the maximum control input voltage, because in alpha we derive that alpha is equal to cos inverse of VC divided by VCM. That VCM value only the people are actually denoting over here. The maximum control input voltage is plus or minus 10 volt. That is what they are saying over here. So the tacho generator as a transfer function of this. So they have well clearly given the outer loop transfer function itself. Tacho generator transfer function itself they have given. So the gain of the speed control loop and the time constant of the speed control loop they have clearly mentioned over here. So there is no need to compute that. They have directly given the tacho generator speed control loop transfer function, and the reference is the speed reference voltage has a maximum of 10 volt. The maximum current permitted in the motor is 20 ampere. So with this restrictions, we are actually designing all the things. First, we are going for the converter gain. So converter transfer function we have known, right? So the KR value is equal to 1.35. During the morning session, we at last find this equation. The gain of the converter KR is equal to 1.3 times of V divided by VCM. So that is equal to 1.35 multiplied with the voltage to a converter is 230 divided by the maximum voltage is plus or minus 10. That's why 10 is coming over here. So after doing that, the value of the converter gain is 31.05 volt. So what is the maximum voltage that can come from a converter? VDC max, that is computed with the help of it is a 220 volt motor divided by the converter gain 310.5 multiplied with the 10. Then we will be getting one value which is nothing but 7.09. We will be discussing why that 7.09 is coming, that we will see to it. So the VEC max is equal to 10 times of the gain, which is nothing but a 310.5 volt. So with this 310.5 volts, so 220 divided by 310.5 multiplied with 10 is getting 7.09. So the rated DC voltage required is 220 volt, which corresponds to a control voltage of 7.09, because VCM they have given. So for the firing angle, the value that is needed is alpha is equal to cos inverse of VC divided by VCM. VCM we have known, VC we need, right? So the control voltage is nothing but this 7.09 volt. So the overall transfer function of the converter becomes 31.05 divided by 1 plus 0.00138 seconds. After estimating these values, when you substitute to it, you will be getting the time constant of that converter. Okay, so whatever the formula, whatever the derivation we have derived, we are actually applying that to a real-time problem of the specific case what they have given. So this is how the converter is getting designed. So whatever may be the application, whatever the value we need, for that we may go for the design of converter. After designing the converter, we can also go for a current control loop and the motor transfer functions also. So the maximum current that is given is nothing but 20 ampere. Here they have mentioned, right, the current permitted in the motor is 20 ampere. So what is the transfer function of the current controller loop is, we have known that HC is equal to the value 7.09 divided by I max. So 7.09 divided by 20 is nothing but it is nothing but 0.355 volt per ampere. And the motor transfer function is, we have known BL divided by KB square plus RA multiplied with BL. All the data they have clearly given in the problem. So with that we are getting the motor gain value is equal to 0.0449. With that we are calculating the value of T1 and T2 also. And the motor time constant is equal to J divided by B, which is equal to 0.7 seconds. So this is how we are decoupling everything in that overall closed loop of the machine. We are getting the value of each and every part, the motor part and the load part and the current controller part, as well as the converter design part, everything what we have seen mathematically during the morning session for the armature voltage control. We are applying the same knowledge what we have derived in the real-time problem over here. And the subsystem transfer function can also be determined in terms of IA of S divided by BA of S, or omega ms divided by IA of S. So because the subsystem transfer function, why we are actually doing is, like the omega m, that speed is responsible for the current. So the output is going to be omega m and the input is nothing but the IA. So the omega m divided by IA of S is equal to KB divided by BT divided by 1 plus S into Tm. This transfer function where we are getting is, after building that blocks, we are getting this and we are getting the overall value like this. So the ratio of speed to current value is 14.5 divided by 1 plus 0.7 times S. The current controller design is also will be of Kc is equal to, now we have seen, right, how the current controller, after approximation from a fourth order system to a second order system, we at last concluded. That's what, like, whatever may be the derivation we are going to do, for the practical application, we should be in a position to at least know the final equation. So the current controller gain is nothing but K into TC divided by K1 HC, KT multiplied with TM. So we have enough values of everything. So upon substituting everything, the current controller gain is 2.33 magnitude. Okay, and the approximation we are doing, right, current controller approximation for a first order system. So that Ti and Ki value also we are actually computing. So step by step, after knowing everything, we are doing. So with this one problem, whatever the mathematical equation we have derived so far, everything is applied over here, and for this real time application we are getting everything. So seeing here, it's clear, right, the time constant is, this should be the time constant, or it should be the delay. Beyond that it should not go. If there is any deviation in the values what we are getting, then there will be a lag in the system performance. So the speed controller design, this is all the equation. For that equation we are substituting everything, and we are getting the gain of the speed controller is 28.73 percentage, and the value of time constant of the speed controller should be 0.188 seconds alone. So beyond that, there should not be any time delay. As we discussed, if there is any time delay, then overall performance of the drive is getting lowered. So this is how the things are actually taking place in the design of the controller, and how especially the real-time application is being achieved. So if you want to control the speed of the motor, what we are actually having for the closed loop control, what we are actually doing is we are designing the every part, the current controller, speed control and position controller blocks with the help of the armature voltage control or with the help of this field beaconing method. We are in the position to achieve the speed control of the motor automatically. So for this subject, we need the knowledge from electrical machines, we need the knowledge from power electronics, we need the knowledge from control system. The integration of all the subjects only paves the way for the better understanding of solid state drives. So that only we have to insist to the students, each and every subject what we are actually reading the previous semester plays a vital role in the upcoming semesters. So the prerequisite for this subject is that subjects are the prerequisite for this subject. And hopefully, like seeing to the real-time application, we know how this real-time application is going to be take place. So this is the motor for which the speed has to be controlled. For this motor, see, these are all the parameters what we have seen. The control blocks are actually replaced with the help of the hardware components. So with this hardware components, we have this position sensor as well as the speed sensor. So we have mathematically calculated like a control systems blocks over there, transfer function, everything was computed there. With that mathematical equations, we are doing the software analysis in the so-called MATLAB or some other software to get the exact performance what this physical machine is going to give. So with this board, what is actually happening is we are incorporating such mathematical knowledges over here, and we have developed this boards. And by getting the values, this is the motor for which the speed has to be controlled. So this is a two-stage H-bridge converter by which the firing angle is getting controlled. So as we discussed it, so what are all the error signals and what are all the gain constants of the controller, everything what we studied. So a real-time catalog is actually opened over here, and I'm actually showing. So whenever we are when the students are getting into an industry or wherever they are going, if they are strong enough in the subject what they are actually reading, that is what the same thing they are going to see over there. So we have discussed this so far, right? The controller output, the controller desired value, the controller time constant, the controller gain. We were repeatedly telling K is nothing but the gain of the system and T is nothing but the time constants of the system. So whatever we have studied, that is actually applied in the real-time application. And for this motor, this BLDC motor, we have to design this drive, and that drive is going to be performed with the help of the program what we are going to do uh, with the microcontroller or the DSP which is attached to it. So see to it, this is how the real-time practical that is actually happening. So this is the DC motor, and these are all the phases that is given to it. If we need the armature-based control, so from the optical sensor, the speed is getting manipulated. So this phase the outermost speed controller block, and we have the motor controller interface there. The all the knowledge what we incorporated is dumped over here, and such mathematical calculations are being done with the help of this motor control interface. And after then only the firing angle is getting generated, and that is um, going to the converter, and from the converter the required voltage is given over here, and the required speed is going to be achieved in the at last application. So this is how what the mathematical equation we are studying in the day-to-day class hours is going to be incorporated for the real-time application. And that's all about the applications of the solid state drives, and where we are actually incorporating this knowledge and where we are actually utilizing it in a day-to-day manner. So this is how we are integrating the things what we are actually reading and whatever there in this syllabus. So with this, hope I have covered the things which is actually there in the 5th unit of solid state drives. So if you have any queries, we will discuss. participants, if you have any queries, then we'll discuss. Arivalagan sir, shall I wind up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shall we wind up, sir?
Okay, sir. Okay, we'll wind up. I think, sir. There
Okay,
is
sir.
no.
Thank you for listening, sir. Thank you very much. Now we are ending the SSD subject. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity for taking one session. Okay, thank you one and all for your kind patience and listening to the session. With this, we are winding up the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.